Okay, so today I am going to run through a video tutorial on how to install PrimStar 1.0 with the new Blender using the automated installer. So I'm going to start from scratch, so much so this is a virtual machine, it's completely blank. So I'm going to download everything or go through everything step by step. First thing, you gotta go check out Domino Designs. They're the people who did PrimStar. And this is the new 1.0 stable release. It's finicky for installing. In the previous versions, you simply drag the scripts into the right folder and it worked. Now it's a little more Blender, or the way Domino has set it up, it's a little more finicky where you have to use the automated installer, or so I found. I've had no success or heard of anyone having a little success with it dragging the scripts in. Okay, so first thing is you download the 1.1, this is the Domino Designs, and then click on the downloads. Same page, recommended version. And right now this tutorial is on 1.0.0. The reason I'm not clicking it is I've already pre-downloaded these files. See, PrimStar Blender. The other thing we're going to need, obviously, is Blender. And we're going to be using the new Blender 2.49B stable, 32-bit. 64-bit, there's no installer for it, and it's a little more confusing when it comes to Python. So 32-bit, download this, the installer. And then the last thing that bridges Blender and the Domino systems together is Python. Now, the thing about Python is when we first go to the website, there's a lot of versions of Python, all the way up to 3.1. 3.1.2. And unfortunately, we can't use that. We can't even use 2.7. We have to use download releases. We have to use 2.6.5. This tutorial is going to be wrong, and you will need a different version, either depending on what Domino does or how Blender progresses. But right now, with this Blender version, you need 2.6.5. And then down here we got a few download options. We got gzip, bzip. You want the Windows 86 MSI installer. Even if you have a 64-bit operating system, which is down here, I've tried it. I had no success with it. You need the 32-bit version. Plus, we also downloaded the 32-bit version of Blender. So you download that, and that's it for downloading. We got everything. Okay, so you downloaded PrimStar. I've extracted it. Blender and Python. You can see the version numbers here. Compare with what you downloaded. Eventually this tutorial will be wrong and newer stuff will have rolled out probably the day after I complete this tutorial. But anyway, at least it gives you a basis. So first off, we're going to install Blender. I agree. Next. The only thing different what we're doing here is use installation directory. This is the only thing we're changing default in the entire installation. Everything else is next. Let me go through its thing. And Blender will tell you it needs Python. I really don't want to go to the website right now. Already been there, done that. Finish. Now we're going to install Python. Python takes a little bit more time. Quite a bit more time. Okay, yay for video editing. Skip through that little installation. Python is now installed. Something you really gotta do. And we can verify that by launching Blender. And then you get two little Blender things. We got the Blender application, then we get the little command line, and it'll say compile with Blender 2.6.6. Checking for Python installed. Got it. Alright, so that's good. Close out of that. We're good. Now the fun stuff. PrimStar. First, we're going to launch command prompt by typing into search cmd But if you're on Windows XP, you're going to have to go to All Programs, Accessories, Command Prompt. Or type Start, and then over here will be Run, and then type in CMD. Users, Virtual. So the first thing we're going to do is up here. I've selected this. I'm copying the address here so I can navigate to it. And then typing CD space, right click, paste. So I've navigated to the PrimStar folder. Now that's done, I got to find where Blender installed to, which is going to be an x86 Blender Foundation, Blender. Alright, I'm going to copy this to this address now. And if I remember the command right, I have to put it in quotes. I'm going to embarrass myself here. Dash p install py install. Oh, I think that's the thing. Slash Blender. Aha! Alright, I'm going to do that again because it's sneaky like that. Okay, PrimStar's been installed, but just for the sake of it, I'm going to close out of that and do it again. Alright, so I copied the location of it right here. Right click, copy. This is after I've navigated to the PrimStar folder through CD, and then I typed in the address there. Now what I'm going to do is put a quote there, paste it, and then what you got to do again is put another slash and then type Blender again, and then end it with a quote. Type dash p install py. Press enter. Blender should launch. Alright, installed. And then all you gotta do is press Control U. After click OK. Control U. Save user defaults. This saves the new PrimStar settings. Now, if you get an error, is not recognized as an internal or external command, it's either two things. A, you're not in the right location, meaning you're not in the PrimStar folder. If you just start up command prompt and type that in, it's not going to work. The other thing is you may have forgotten the extra slash Blender. Oh, and the third thing, you may forget the quotations. The quotations are not always necessary. The reason why they're there is so Windows doesn't think that that's a separate command, because there's a space in between, like program files. So it keeps everything, it tells it it's a directory. And then that's done, and PrimStar is now installed. Now, the way to check is just launch Blender. And then I'm gonna delete this, all those things, and then I should go space, mesh, sculpted mesh. If you don't have that sculpted mesh in there, that means it didn't install right. And then we can build it, and voila, we have Sculpties. That's how you install it. That's it.